What is happening, Magnus? So, I was waiting for stories like this to come out. I was going to get this game. I was going to get it. And I remember I was sitting on the couch. I bought a couple other games, including Mouse and a few other things. And I was just like, sitting there looking at it. And I was like, let me wait for the reviews. So I waited for the reviews. And some of the channels that I watch, they're kind of middle of the aisle. They won't tell you whether anything modern audience is in there. So I was like, let me wait. A couple more days in, the videos started popping up. And I was like, okay, what's the problem with Saros? Now, remember a couple years back, they said because all the backlash that they were getting for all the Panderverse stuff that they were doing to all entertainment, what they were going to start doing with movie and video game trailers is they were going to show us all the good stuff, but hide what the story was about. They wouldn't let us know that they were going to do anything woke in it. So, this apparently was one of those things. And people say you don't truly find out until the end of the game. And what they were saying, what was happening was basically with the story was this man, the guy that you're in control of during this game, he had a homosexual affair behind his wife's back. And to keep her from finding out, I think he took the dude out. So I guess she finds out, and then at the end of the game, she leaves him for another woman. So that's the whole thing. So people are basically like, yo, we told y'all we was tired. All these types of stories, all the preachiness, all the pandering, your gay baiting, stuff like that. We're tired of it. So people aren't buying it. Says here, Saros had a lukewarm start with 300,000 plus sold in 2 weeks, and analytics firm estimates. Okay, I thought my battery ran out. The game may struggle to break even, but those buying it are playing it a lot. So the people that buy it are liking it. PlayStation 5 exclusive Saros had a lukewarm start and may not make its development costs back, according to a video game analytics firm. Now, 300,000 isn't. I mean, I'm used to hearing a lot of these numbers. I don't always pay attention to them like that, but isn't that really bad for PlayStation 5 exclusive? Like, aren't their exclusives, don't their exclusives usually sell a few million within the first few days? Norwegian firm Alinea Analytics estimates that in the 2 weeks since its release, Saros has passed 300,000 copies sold and earned more than $22 million in revenue for Sony. The company suggests that given the game's reported development budget was around $76 million, it may struggle to break even as a result. According to the firm, however, the game's data doesn't point to an entirely negative situation. Of the players who bought the game, 40% have played it for more than 15 hours and 30% have played it for more than 20 hours. All right, so they're getting it in. Cool, that's pretty impressive. Actually, that actually makes sense though, because people aren't. I keep hearing in several videos I watched, you don't truly find out what the real story is until the end of the game. So that does kind of make sense that they would play it longer. Quote, this is pretty impressive engagement for a roguelike of this difficulty profile. Only 2 weeks to release. Lenea's head of market analysts stated, adding that Housemarque's decision to make the game more accessible than Returnal has led to more than 20% of players completing the game. Yeah, because I kind of like Returnal, but then once I found that you had to start over after you died, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Sorry. double what Returnal had at this point. So it's double. Quote, this is the silver lining in the data, Elliott suggests. Saros obviously isn't pulling in casual PlayStation owners at the scale Sony and Housemarque might have hoped, but the audience that did show up is playing the hell out of it. Quote, that's the audience that recommended games to friends, drives organic word of mouth, and converts the higher rates when the game eventually goes on sale or hits PS Plus. Elaine's data suggests that Saros is selling a little slower than Returnal did in the same period, despite the PS5 user base now being around 93 million versus 8 million at that time. Our first look, it seems rough, Elliott said, but there's a bit more to it. When Returnal hit in April 2021, less than 5 months after the PS5 launch, those early PS5 adopters, the ones who inherently buy a lot of new games at full price, were dying for something to play. Yeah, that's true too. When something is like, I remember when I first got a Super Nintendo, and I was just like, God, man, what the hell? There isn't much games for me to play, man. You sit there going to the store looking for anything you might halfway be interested in, even though you knew before you weren't interested in those games. You didn't want to buy them, but you go to the store just looking like, is there anything new out that I might want? Returnal was the first big party PlayStation release since the launch, and it made amazing use of unique DualSense haptics and spatial audio. Many core PS5 players flocked to it almost by default. It's a different story for Saros, though. Its launch not long after Crimson Desert, Resident Evil Requiem, Hades 2 on PS5, Pragmata, and a whole bunch of rad 2026 games. This is more niche of a game. It was never going to do the numbers like God of War or Ghost of Yotei. He added, it's really a shame, as Saros is a fantastic game and frankly deserves better numbers. Well, yeah, I've heard that it actually, the gameplay is fantastic. That's all I keep hearing. And then everyone's like, the story, once you're like, oh, it just takes you out of it. But there's plenty of love. Okay, so this is one of those games I think that's teetering out of just coming off of the conveyor belt of what we've been dealing with for all these years. So I'm sure they got the message. I'm sure they knew this was coming. And yeah, it is what it is. They've been doing this to their games, and everybody been getting the backlash. Ubisoft, everybody, PlayStation, everybody just been getting it. So post comments down below. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.